Hey guys, welcome back here to Advanced Bass Fishing, and appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check out the video. And guys, today we're going to be talking about a little known technique that works good in cold water if you got the right situations, and that is deep cranking, throwing a deep diving crankbait in the wintertime for cold water bass. And this is a very situational technique, and I'm going to go over in today's video the set of conditions that you have to have for this to work, and definitely can add to some quality fish if it falls in line with your lake, if you guys got some cover like I'm getting ready to talk about here. Also guys, quick reminder, I will put some of my favorite cold water deep diving crankbaits in my tackle warehouse link in the description of this video. If you guys would like to get some using that link, good way to support the channel. It's a good way to get you some good tackle. And also guys, thank you very much for everybody that has been using all those links I put in the description. That's a really good way to support advanced bass fishing. Thank you very much for me and my family here. Okay guys, this is probably a technique you haven't heard much about. It involves throwing the super deep crankbaits. The two that I like to use is the old school Norman DD22 and this Megabass Deep 6. Just sort of rotate between the two of them. We've caught a lot of good fish on both of them. Now the first thing, let's talk a little bit about the conditions you have to have for this to work in. This works really good when the water temperatures in the 40s and the 50s. Really like, I think 45 to 55 degrees is probably the ideal condition for it. Wintertime bass, sluggish, that type of thing. And then on top of that, you have to have the right water visibility. This is sort of a clear water deal. So I like to have water visibility of at least 3 foot. 4 to 6 foot visibility is really ideal. It sort of positions the fish in that zone to be caught on a deep crankbait. And the main thing that you have to do with these guys is you have to weight them. In other words, I don't have these weighted, but you got to put some lead suspend strips on the belly here to get them where they just are neutrally buoyant or even slow sink. I actually like them where they sink, probably about a foot every 10 seconds or so, because that way you can count them down and you can fish a little bit deeper if you need to. So the suspend strips are a really big key with that. Next with that, the line, I'm usually using 10-pound test Seaguar and Vizix line to get the bait down deep, and that's my setup with it. Now, most of these fish that you're catching, from my perspective, they're going to be sort of in that 12 to 15 foot zone. And there's a lot of bass in the wintertime, especially if you got water temperatures close to 50, that live in that 15 foot zone. Very simple technique, very simple to do this. What you want to do is concentrate on main lake points. And the points I prefer are the ones that sort of have, some type of a gradual slope where, let's say for example, your boat's in 20 foot of water, and on a long cast, if you launch it out there a long way, you might be able to hit the bank. But I'm going to be targeting sort of that 10 to 20, the 10 to 20, about the 10 to 20 foot zone. So what I like to do is I like to get my boat out there, like I said, in around 20 to 25 feet, and make super long casts and saturate that entire point, the sides of the point and the end of the point, in that 10 to 20 foot zone. And if you think the fish are a little bit deeper, this is when you really want to make sure that you have the bait weighted so you can get it down there. Because say for example, you think the fish are in 20 foot of water or even 25 foot of water, if you weight this thing where it sinks a little bit like that, you can throw it out there, crank it down about 10 times to get it down, and then just let it sink and just count it down. Just count 1, 2, 3, till you get it, down 15 feet or so. And once you think that bait is about down 15 feet, begin cranking again, and you're gonna hit the bottom of 20 foot of water. This has been my most successful technique, is when I get in around about 20 foot of water, count the thing down, and then you're just fishing it just at a slow medium retrieve. You don't have to just crawl it like that. Just something out there, just about like that slow medium retrieve. You don't necessarily have to be hitting the bottom. I've caught them even if the bait wasn't on the bottom all the way, but you need to have it pretty close to the bottom. It's just a presentation that the fish don't see very much. Most fish in the wintertime see little swim baits, jerk baits, Alabama rigs, spoons, that type of a thing. But guys, they will hit a big crankbait in the middle of the winter. The best days for it are your lower light days, like some type of a cloudy day, 75% overcast, a south wind where your temperatures are maybe normal or a little bit of normal, and a little bit of wind, about a 10-mile-an-hour wind. Those conditions make those cold water bass bite a little bit more aggressively in there. But anyway, guys, just try it. One of the best ways you can do it, if you're, say, for example, you got a lake and you're catching some fish on a jerkbait on a point, or maybe you're dragging a football head jig or throwing an A-rig, and you're catching a few fish on the point, and you know there's fish there, just pull out a big deep diving crankbait, give it a try, fling it out there a few times, and if you do get one, it's usually a good fish. It's usually a quality bass when you do catch them. So hope it helps you guys out. Like I said, I'll link some of these baits in the description. We'll talk later.